If you lean back in your chair, Gerfunkel will occur. Don't know what I mean? Well, that's alright. I'll hold you eternally responsible for what you do next, and your children. But we'll get back to this idea later. In the last video, I showed you how bad God is at spreading his message, showing him either to be a weakling, a moron, or a sadist, possibly a combination of those. Because of God's impotence, stupidity, cruelty, there are 67 people who die every minute that don't have enough information to believe in God. And every single one of them is bound to a place of infinite torture. To wrap it up, I showed you that this guy is way better at spreading his meme than this guy. So let's go back 6,000 years to the Garden of Eden, a location that is yet to be discovered, although you'd think it'd be really easy to find, with the cherubim standing guard with a flaming sword and all. The cast of characters is familiar to everyone, but I really want you to look at this story from an atheist, analyzed point of view. Our first character, God, is a ghost who has spent a week proving himself to be the greatest mind in the universe, finding out things like how mass should impact gravity, how light should behave as a particle and a wave at the same time, how particles on the quantum level can jump into and out of existence, how to create every animal with a DNA history that can be traced back to amoebas even though they were created by magic, how to create the universe from nothing, something creationists say is impossible. And ultimately, God had to figure out how to create himself from nothing in a place that is best defined as nowhere at a time when there was no time. This guy is a genius. On the 6th day, he created our species, and on the 7th day, he rested. But this is where things start to go wrong. God obviously didn't take enough time to sit back and relax, because the smartest entity in the universe becomes incredibly stupid. Here's an experiment I want you to run. Well, at least in your head. Just merely think about it. I want you to take 2 cats, one male, one female, and put them in a room. In this room, I want you to place several different items: toys, string, grocery bags, cat food, finely cut pieces of steak, a litter box, and finally, an opened can of tuna. Once you have done this, you may address the cats in whatever language you like, but tell them that the tuna is forbidden, and if they eat the tuna, they will surely die. Then leave. How long do you think it will take for the cats to eat the tuna? Here's the real question. Whose fault is it that the cats ate the tuna? Now, I can hear the sound of angry Christian fingers typing away in the comment section, saying, this isn't a fair comparison. But let me back up my claim. You see, according to the Christian Book of Myths, Adam and Eve had no idea what the consequences of their action would be, and they had no concept of death, and they had no concept of good or evil. Just like your cats in that room. They have no idea what the consequences of eating that tuna are. They have no idea of the death that will accompany their failure. And they have no idea that eating the tuna is an evil action. Just a quick tangent. How many of you are leaning back in your chair? I warned you that if you lean back in your chair, Gerfunkel would occur. How many of you know what a Gerfunkel is? Is Gerfunkel some kind of thing where I give you $1,000, or is it some kind of thing where I sleep with your sister and don't call her back? Gerfunkel could be anything. It looks like you guys are in the same exact boat as Adam and Eve. You are clueless. You're just like the cats who have no idea that eating tuna is a bad thing. So who is to blame? Well, if you're killing cats for eating tuna when you engineered a system where they didn't know eating tuna was bad, I'd say you were to blame. Who do you blame for the Garden of Eden incident? The people that have no idea of what's going on, or the supremely intelligent creator ghost who engineered this situation? I'll give you a hint. Imagine you pour engine antifreeze on the ground next to a puppy and tell the puppy not to drink it. After that, you hide away and don't take any actions to stop the puppy. When you come back and find the puppy dead, who do you blame? The puppy who had no idea of what was going on, or the sadistic bastard that engineered this situation? Well, there is an added character in the Adam and Eve story. There is a talking snake. Sure, why not? Dust man, rib woman, creator ghost, magic garden. Why not have a talking snake? This talking snake tells the first lie ever to Adam and Eve, who have no idea what a lie is. Of course, Adam and Eve have no concept of wrongdoing, so there is no possible way that they could detect that this snake is deceiving them. It's like telling a 3-year-old girl to drink drain cleaner because it'll turn her into a princess. Who do you think the police will punish when they find this poisoned little girl in the hospital? The little girl who has no idea what a lie is and just trusted you? Or the asshole who lied to her convincingly? We should not be surprised to find that God is incompetent when it comes to spreading his soul-saving gospel when he couldn't even inform 2 people about what happens when you eat deadly fruit. The fall from grace was God's fault and no one else's. You can't even blame the snake, because what the snake said was true. Adam and Eve did not die, and their eyes were opened, so they understood right and wrong, like God. Adam doesn't die for at least another 800 years. So what do we get from all this? Simple. God engineered the downfall of mankind and blames us for it. You're going to find this theme a lot in Christianity. God makes some impossible scenario that men are bound to fail in. God makes some terrible punishment for when the men fail the scenario. Then God gets angry and punishes the men. You see it with predestination of God's faithful, following the laws of Moses, the Garden of Eden, etc. Again, I hear the sound of typing fingers. I'm a Christian and I don't take this story literally. Well, that's odd, because if you don't believe in this story, then why do you believe in Jesus? You see, if the Garden of Eden story never took place, then mankind's fall into sin never took place. If mankind never fell into sin, then there's no reason to have a sacrifice for our sins. If there's no need for a sacrifice, then there's no need for Jesus. If there's no need for Jesus, then there's no need for you to be a Christian. When you discount the story about a superghost who created the planet by magic and filled it mysteriously with a dust man, a rib woman, a talking snake, and a tree of education, you discount the very reason why you believe in the necromantic zombie wizard bastard.